The recording is in progress, and I'll turn it over to you, Lloyd. You can start sharing, and that'll stop me from sharing.
All right, so thank you very much, Andrew. So we are now beginning our very first Diplomacy Initiative event. And so this is our inaugural event for the Diplomacy Initiative. And typically, as I do during most of our ad hoc International Advisory Board and Global Unity Network meeting events, I do begin with land acknowledgement. So I would like to say to acknowledge those that came before us on this land. We begin today by acknowledging that we walk upon the traditional territories of Indigenous peoples, and we recognize their history, spirituality, culture, and stewardship of the land. We're grateful to all Indigenous groups for their commitment to protect the land and its resources, and we're committed to reconciliation, partnership, and enhanced understanding. We acknowledge the land we are meeting here in the Greater Toronto area is the traditional territory of many nations, including the Wendat, the Haudenosaunee, and the Anishinaabe peoples, and is now home to many diverse peoples. We'd also like to acknowledge the land we're on as at the meeting place of two treaties, the lands of the Mississaugas of the Credit and those of the First Nations of the Williams Treaty. We thank them and other Indigenous peoples for sharing this land with us. We also acknowledge and recognize all of the world's Indigenous peoples as stewards of Mother Earth. So this is our very first e-diplomacy initiative trial run, you could say. So this logo on the left is our main logo for the diplomacy initiative. I did a little bit of a zoom in on the Tree of Peace and Reconciliation detail. You can see at the bottom the three main sponsors: Andrew Networks, Global Peace Let's Talk, and the Global Forum for Sustainable Rural Development. So I want to welcome everyone to this first ever ad hoc International Advisory Board Global Unity Network e-diplomacy initiative event. My name is Lloyd Helferty, Chief Ecosystem Director, Program Development Director, and Sustainable Society Consultant for Energy University, headquartered in Manhattan. I am located in the city of Markham in the Greater Toronto area in Southern Ontario, Canada. I'm with Energy University, which is a private non-profit 501(c) company in New York City, a member of the UN Global Compact, UN academic impact member and partner. Energy is a virtual university created to help empower global populations to reestablish a sustainable balance with their local environments. So the Ad Hoc International Advisory Board of Goodwill Ambassadors and the Global Unity Network e-diplomacy initiative is intended to connect local people and communities that may not otherwise get a chance to talk to each other. So the event is being co-hosted by Global Peace Let's Talk in partnership with Global Forum for Sustainable Rural Development. This event is intended to connect local farmers, growers, entrepreneurs across geographies and among people, communities that may not otherwise ever get a chance to talk to each other and get to know each other as people. So the idea here is to sit down, even if only virtually as we are, have tea, relax, and discuss our local solutions to global problems like food security, hunger, climate change, the environment, peace, security, and the well-being of all people in each of our own local communities. So the people participating will also discuss, among other things, what kinds of teas they like to drink, what unique teas are grown in their own local communities or region, and the importance of these teas to their local people and cultures. So, sorry, I'd also like to start this presentation by giving recognition to especially Andrew Networks, also rebroadcasting production-ready episodes of these kinds of events on the Ad Hoc International Advisory Board AHIABGA.org domain, also being redirected to UCIT-TV site. This particular event, hosted by the Global Unity Business Group, which is building our primary global partnership network, Global Unity Network, which is demonstrating SDG 17 partnership goals on behalf of the Ad Hoc International Advisory Board of Goodwill Ambassadors and Activists, and where the other primary co-hosts of this event are Global Let's Talk and the Global Forum for Sustainable Rural Development. And so for this inaugural tea diplomacy event, our other partners include, of course, our main co-hosts, Global Forum for Sustainable Rural Development and Global Peace Let's Talk, but also we have the Ad Hoc International Advisory Board of Goodwill Ambassadors and Activists, Global Unity Network, Andrew Networks, Global Humanitarian Organization for Peace and Equity, the World Humanitarian Organization for Peace and Equity, WOPE, Saga Foundation, We Understand Global Cooperation Turtle Island, Drawdown Markham Climate Change Solutions Education and Training Hub, Indigenous Global Unity Network, Carbon Shot Earth, Sustainable Marketplace for Climate Solutions, the Unity Women and Feminist Network, Odds and Kids of South Africa, Jehovah Alive for Old Age, or JAFOA in Uganda, the National Federation of Women Farmers and Appropriate Technology in Asia, in Nepal, TriLife Foundation in Malawi, Soweto CSI Council in South Africa, Demonstrators Youth Development Program, Village Synergy in Uganda, Global Unity Business Group, 5 Points Youth Foundation, Edfu Foundation, Future Lift Foundation, Cycle of Success, and Gemma Productions. So I will be putting links to all of these groups eventually in the chat, but I wanted to say that this inaugural Tea Diplomacy Initiative live and recorded event is happening today during the week of solidarity with people struggling against racism and racial discrimination, which starts on this day, March 21st, and continues until March 27th. In particular, we're doing this event because Monday, March 21st, today, is also the International Day for the Elimination of Racial Discrimination, where March 21st also happens to be World Poetry Day, and is also the International Day of Forests. So this virtual tea diplomacy event will have themes related to methods and processes of enabling and implementing solidarity with the people struggling against racism and racial discrimination, along with discussing some of the local poets and poetry that have influenced local cultures in each respective community, wherever participants in these virtual discussions might live, along with discussing the importance of establishing productive forests, especially as biodiverse 3D polyculture food forests, established as Victory Forest Unity Gardens in all of our local communities, managed in partnership with local Indigenous peoples and all levels of government in every local community in the country, as an essential part of a process of what we call practical reconciliation with all of the Indigenous peoples of the world, one country, one community, and one watershed at a time. So today's event is the result of our efforts at organizing to have this, our very first inaugural virtual tea diplomacy initiative event happen, even with very short notice. So during this virtual tea diplomacy event, we are bringing together people from across our business and development network, and we'll be posing questions to leaders and other high-level decision makers as we sit down virtually and have a cup of tea with some of our Global Unity Network members who are part of our grassroots communities, especially with those who are living in and doing work in the various marginalized communities around the world. The conversations that we'll be having and asking our participants to discuss during these moderated virtual casual conversations between our sustainable development decision makers, professionals, and our grassroots members who are doing some of the on-the-ground work in the various local communities in the Global Unity Network will be related to those three themes that I mentioned in the previous slide. On this page, you'll also see our new social media pages. Hold on, I think I may have jumped ahead here, which You can also join, especially if you are watching this on Facebook or otherwise. We'll also give you an opportunity to join one of our future key diplomacy initial virtual casual discussions between high-level decision makers and people who are living in the grassroots communities of the Global Unity Network. So this is the page I jumped ahead of, but as mentioned, today is the International Day for the Elimination of Racial Discrimination. The United Nations proclaimed this an International Day for the Elimination of Racial Discrimination in 1966. Every year, March 21st is recognized as a day where the international community can come together in an effort to eliminate all forms of racial discrimination. Today also, World Poetry Day, a day to honor our poets, revive oral traditions of poetry recitals, promote reading, writing, and teaching of poetry, foster the convergence between poetry and other arts such as theater, dance, music, and painting, and raise the visibility of poetry in media. So at this time, I actually would like to invite, if possible, to have our guest on the line. This would be a short interlude while our Key Diplomacy Initiative Poet Laureate will recite the opening poem for us to contemplate that before we begin our discussions. I will resume the opening presentation following this, the recitation of this poem. So I will give a few minutes for that person. They are on the line to do that, if that's possible. Have them unmute themselves.
Prince Andrew, the poem was sent through to be played directly.
Okay, I apologize. I wasn't aware of that. Let me look to see. And
It's not here?
the video that we did.
No, the poem. It's just an audio. I think it's on MP4.
Okay, is that in your WhatsApp? I apologize. I wasn't prepared.
Oh, okay. Okay, Joseph is not on the line, is it? Okay.
This is part of the reason why this is sort of a little bit of a dry run as well, because we have never done this before. So this wasn't advertised very widely over Facebook and LinkedIn and all of these. It's mostly internal.
Okay. Do you need me to resend it?
Yes, I'm not sure where to look. I apologize.
Okay. Because he was going to have it ready to be played at the press of a button. So
once I locate it,
they can send directly to him. So let me. I'm going straight to my WhatsApps. No problem. Sorry about that. Okay. Okay, it's from Joseph. Okay.
Well, okay, I'm in our mutual WhatsApp where you posted the photo. Is that where I'm looking?
Okay, I've got it. He sent it to me because it was sent through WeShare. So he then converted it. But now it will be with you in a second. Then he resent it to me as an MP3.
Oh, that one. Oh, I apologize. Okay, yeah, I actually have that on another. Yes, I have it right here.
Okay.
Oh, I apologize. Okay. I was readier than I knew.
You're always ready, Prince Andrew. You only have 10 files. That's the only problem.
Okay, just one moment. I'm doing it up now and share my screen. I apologize for the delay. Just a second. Okay.
Is it not just audio or is it a video?
Both. we converted the audio to video. Joseph and I put this together for you. Let me share it just a moment. Got multiple screens here, so let me get back to Zoom. I can share this screen. Thank you for your patience. Okay, so.
One is in.
Hopefully this will run a lot smoother the next time.
So I'm going to stop sharing. I need you to stop sharing your screen, Lloyd.
Okay.
Lloyd, I apologize.
No problem.
Okay, thank you.
This is the song, but it will also do. It's fine. So Lloyd, go to him.
Oh, thank you. And I'm going to now scroll down so we can actually see the lyrics in English. We did have that. So I'll make this available to you. Just a moment. And Juliet, you actually have this, so would you be so kind as to share this with us?
Yes, I'm gonna see if I can attach, I've just tried to copy, let me put it. Voila. Okay, I just said
Wonderful.
voila, I hope it did happen. Oh yeah, there they are.
Yes.
Oh, I love that. It's absolutely awesome. Congratulations, Juliet. Beautiful.
Thank you so much. Yes, no, the lyrics are there. It's poetry in motion. That's what music is. And it's in Zulu, but we've also attached the English translation. It's by a South African.
Awesome.
from Soweto.
Congratulations, dearest. Congratulations.
Yes, I absolutely loved the song when I heard it the first time as well, and I think this is the best poetry. So, the music.
Well, thank you, Lloyd. I'll turn it back over to you, and I'll put the link in the chat for the video that has this translation at the bottom. Thank you so much.
Yes, and I did put in a number of links as well as the song was playing. Our poem was playing today. So there are a number of links in the chat to all of our partners here today, and all of the relevant information. So I will share my screen once more as well.
Can I maybe in 2 sentences just say what the song is all about? Oh,
Yes, go ahead.
Of
Of
Sure.
course. Yes, please.
yes. It's a song by a young lady from Soweto, from South Africa. She is singing about her dream of being able to travel the world as an artist, that one day she hopes she'll be able to sing in front of heroes. And it's a pity she's not on the line, because I think for her to be singing this song, or for everyone here be listening to the song, should be a beginning of a dream come true. And she's saying that when she comes in, where she says, "Shuguma, shugu, shushu," that part, it's all saying that when she comes in, bodies will move, people will be dancing around, in that when she starts singing for heroes. And she says there's a lot of word where she says, "Mama, way," so she's praying to her mother that her dream of being able to sing and perform in front of the world, on the world stage, should come true. And in spite of the hurdles that she's gone through, she will defeat the enemy, and one day she'll be able to perform on the world stage. And I thought it's very relevant for this.
Well, we've actually enabled her dream to come true.
Amen.
We will make her. We will make her a star as well.
Yes.
And if you're able to reach her before we leave, of course, she's invited to join us, Juliet. Keep that in mind as well.
Yes, no, I was a pity. Today it's the National Human Rights Day in South Africa. So there's a lot of activity happening. That's why I had to start in Soweto. So she's somewhere invited as part of the human rights celebration today. But yes,
wonderful.
she'll get to see everything else. Thank you so much on her behalf. She's an upcoming artist. This means a lot to her, and also to me, because I know her struggles as a child from Soweto. That's where she's based. Thank you so much to everyone.
A real quick
Thank you.
question. I'm sorry, I'm on the road. Is this song, is it okay to share it? We have a women's event this weekend, and I wondered if we could play it. Is it released to be played like for the public, or is that okay? Thank you so much.
Yes, we were last night we were able to get permission to be able to use it linked to all the work that is linked to what we're doing today. I will just send them a note and make them aware of it, but we have been given permission to use it, because in line what I knew about racism and getting beyond whatever limitations that they have.
Wonderful. Thank you so much.
Yes, and Prophet, I'll inbox that link into your WhatsApp.
That'll be great. Thank you so much.
Back to you,
All
Lloyd.
right. Okay, sure. So we have a few more slides to go before the opening presentation is complete. So going back, We just finished our opening poem. And so I did want to remind everyone that today is also the International Day of Forests. So this day celebrates and raises awareness of the importance of all types of forests. Each year, various events celebrate and raise awareness of the importance of all types of forests and trees outside of forests for the benefit of current and future generations. And so I wanted to talk about and highlight what are called 3D polyculture food forests, which are a type of perennial polyculture garden that is based on a forest ecosystem in which more species of or crop varieties are grown in one patch or space at the same time. So food forests are a form of polyculture in which different layers of fruit-bearing or edible plant species are mixed. They are important because of their function in maintaining things like soil health and biodiversity, along with greater resilience and stability of natural systems. Food forests have several advantages compared with monocultures, including, of course, soil degradation would occur less often. The different harvested products could yield increased yields, and food forests can also be a source of social cohesion through a practice of inclusive farming and other economic activities. Later, I will put in several links to food forests. But I also wanted to mention the Global Unity Network Unity Gardens as a branded learning garden intended to deliver life value peace education in the context of an open source regenerative climate smart landscape or infrastructure solution. So Unity Gardens are intended to be independent local cooperative enterprises that are used to deliver a variety of education, engagement, and interactive community learning about solutions that will help the children of the future adapt to a radically different climate and potentially radically different paradigms of living than what we know today. Starts with the delivery of various progressive, practical, and transformative curriculum like the Buckminster Fuller programs, along with various humanitarian entrepreneurship and skills training in practical settings, in other words, practical learning. So every Unity Garden is intended to be both off-grid and renewable energy powered, so no diesel generators or other such things, except perhaps for emergency backup. Will be connected to each other via our Interchange for Peace virtual collaborative network. And so Unity Garden classrooms are intended to be independently operated, set up in collaboration with existing schools in local communities so that all learners in every local community can gain access to local and remote and virtual practical learning programs. And where the Global Unity Network FFHE members can also learn skills about how to grow, process, market, sell, and trade various types of regenerative climate smart food and related nutritional and medicinal and other types of locally produced regenerative products, both within their own local communities as well as regionally, nationally, continentally, and even internationally, in order to produce income and therefore greater prosperity for themselves and for the people in their own local communities, eventually for all people on all continents, with the intention and goal of leaving no one behind. So at this time, Unity Gardens come in with 5 different configurations as CSV Gardens, tree forests, which I mentioned, climate smart kitchens, spark learning centers, or climate smart education and training centers, and wheel of life farms and farm schools. So Victory Forest Unity Gardens are delivered by the Foundation for Building Sustainable Communities, or FBSC. They're based on the concepts of CSV Gardens that are uniquely delivered in the context of a regenerative 3D polyculture food forest. So I had mentioned before about the establishment of forests as being an essential part of the process of practical reconciliation with all of the indigenous peoples of the world, one country, one community, and one watershed at a time. But what is practical reconciliation? It means developing local partnerships with all of the indigenous peoples of the world and returning stewardship of the land back into the hands of these same indigenous people for the purpose of ensuring ongoing sustainable effective management of our local landscapes and biodiversity in perpetuity, for the purpose of ensuring that humanity itself will be able to survive the coming changes in our physical, economic, social, and cultural environments. So at this point in time, we can now have our casual open discussions that are moderated by Dr. Nikki Pina from the Global Peace Let's Talk. In particular, I'd like to also recognize our special high-level guest today, Dr. Jayanta Todhuri, who is an associate professor at the National Institute of Rural Development in Panchayati Raj, Northeast Regional Center, Ministry of Rural Development, Government of India. He was also associate editor for the International Journal of Rural Development and Management Studies, and PUI, a journal on tribal life and culture. He is also a board member of the Forum for India Development Cooperation, as well as the founder of the Global Forum for Sustainable Rural Development. But where everyone else on the call can also introduce themselves if they so wish, but starting with women, and where anyone who wishes to discuss with Johan or Todhuri about what kinds of teas you like to drink, what unique teas are grown in their own local communities or region, how important these teas are to the local people in your community, why it's significant to your local culture. Or of course, you can also talk about the themes of the discussion today, which are around poets, poetry that have influenced your own local culture and yourself, how you yourself are working in solidarity with people struggling against racism or racial discrimination, or if you wish to discuss it, the importance of establishing productive forests as Victory Forest Unity Gardens. So please raise your hand by going to the bottom of the Zoom screen, click raise hand. We'll call on you to open your microphone in order to introduce yourself so that you can have a casual chat with Dr. Todhuri. Please be respectful, lighthearted, and most importantly, positive in all of your comments and discussions. This is not about airing our grievances, but rather it is about getting to know each other and connecting with each other and to the issues that are at the core of ourselves and our local communities. This is also about being open in our hearts, connecting to each other and getting to know each other as people. And while this is also about making people aware of the issues, it starts with getting to know each other so that eventually we can also work together in the future to consider and implement solutions. I'd also like to ask everyone to please keep yourself muted and also put your contact information into the chat window so that others on the call will have your contact info, especially if you're new to the Global Unity Network. Please include your name, your organization, and your contact info, like email, WhatsApp, telephone number, etc. So at this point in time, these are where we can have some open discussions. As I say, Todhuri, if you can unmute yourself as well as Nikki as the moderator, and we will allow people to put up their hand and move forward with our open discussions on the issues of the conversation today. Nikki?
Hello, everyone. I just want to say thank you to Lloyd and the Andrew Networks for the opportunity to bring together people today from across the world. We need now to start creating circles of unity. We need to be able to share our vision and our dreams and be able to find connections so that we rise up together with our voices for peace in this world today. I am so impressed with the number of people that are here. We now have 24 visitors. absolutely loved the song earlier. It was so heartfelt and so real about somebody's dream and her vision. And so it is for all of us. And it's not nice to be able to try even to work alone. We have to start working together as one unit, one voice for peace in our world. That is the strength. So if I may also add, Lloyd is just so passionate about bringing people together. And that is exactly in line with Global Peace Let's Talk, because we work together. And we have found that it resonates with people to be able to be part of circles that are sharing the same vision for peace in our world today. So well done. And thank you so much to everybody for joining and for being here. We love you. We appreciate you. We respect you. I also would like to say to Dr. Jayanti, who took on this project with Global Peace Let's Talk, thank you so much for your energy and your support that you've put into this. You are truly an amazing human, and we really, really appreciate you. Thank you.
So I'd
Back to you, Lloyd.
I would like to ask Dr. Chokli if he might be able to introduce himself as well. I lost my list of people here.
Dr. Jayanti, are you available? Can you hear us?
No, I'm available. Some network issues are there. Sorry for that. Actually, I told you na that this month, entire month is I'm just struggling to reassemble or assemble me in different way. Anyway, so overall, welcome to all of you on behalf of that entire organization. All of us who are engaged here, and definitely thanks to Lloyd. Lloyd has taken a great initiative. So all of us must be thankful to Lloyd to bring together all the organization, all the thought together. And today it is very important day because so many things are there. The International Day of Forests, then International Day discrimination against all sorts of discrimination. This is one, and even the happiness days. Some country they are celebrating happiness day. So all together, this is a very crucial day, and today we are here. From our side, we can say that exchange of view. This is a very informal discussion as a tea diplomacy. I'm very sounding. The term is very sounding, but all together, let us give our thought and some work. We can share our thought and work, so that in the global issues we can contribute and we can know what we are doing from each other, and it will be very learning phase. And in this regard, definitely now let us open to everybody to give their views, and we'll come together again later phase what we are getting from for this day and what will be our responsibility in future to make this world as a beautiful. Thank you very much, Lloyd, for the time being. Again, I'm joining.
Thank you, Dr. Chaudhary. So if anybody would like to introduce themselves, especially the women who are on the call, again, put up your hand, or perhaps I can just call on you. For instance, Juliet, you may want to introduce yourself.
Highlight.
Hello.
Hello. Yeah, I'm Senator here.
Go ahead.
Hello, Senator. Introduce yourself to the group. I'm so happy that you're here. Senator sits on the board of
didn't hear so
Global Peace Let's Talk. Wonderful
well. Your
vision.
sound broke. Did you mention my name, Professor Lloyd? I didn't hear you so well.
Well, in just a moment, Juliet. We're going to allow the senator to introduce himself, and then we'll get back to you. Senator, please go right ahead. Or Nikki, if you'd like to make an introduction, now's that time. Thank you.
Nikki, would you introduce, or I'll go myself? Ma'am Nikki.
Yes, go
Ms.
ahead,
Go ahead.
Senator. Go ahead.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Thank you
Please
very
go right
much,
ahead. Thank you.
Honorable Mr. Lloyd, to giving us the opportunity to talk on this August forum. I'm really honored to be here. Me, myself, I'm the digital senator, first digital senator of the world, and proudly being the member of Global Peace Let's Talk, GPLT. So as today here, I'm really glad on one thing, that now the world has realized, and every part of the world is talking about peace, peace, and peace. So which is the need of today, which is the need of the time, and especially after having this episode which happened in Russia with Ukraine, and it can be happened anywhere. So thanks to Allah that it is not going far, and it will be settled at this place. Otherwise, there were rumors that it may go up to any level. So again, it's good. And one thing is that if we are talking about the global peace, let's talk. Our motive is also this, that we are not working for my group, my people, under the guidance of our sister Nikki DePina, the chairperson, founder chairperson of Global Peace Let's Talk. So our basic motive is to create an awareness among all over the world, especially the third world, that we being the part of it, we should try to talk more and more and higher as much we can, and we should take this up to the level where we speak that the peace should be everywhere, and there is no other solution in the world except the peace. So I'm really honored to be part of this today's discussion, and also this that you are doing. I'll appreciate a marvelous job, and we would love to be the part of such meetings again, and we would assure you, my brother, that whatever we can, we will join hands, and we will love to be the part of this mission, which is for the betterment of this globe and for our coming generation. Thank you very much. Really feel honored to be here.
Well, thank you, and we do appreciate that. Let me also say that we're encouraging you, Senator.
Oh, my brother.
We're taking full advantage of this opportunity. Everything we have is yours to share, to make sure you spread the word in your networks about what we're doing. And the next speaker, Juliet, and I are working together with this AHIABGA-TV to make sure that each of us has a platform to reach the world. So thank you so very much. And Juliet, I'll turn it over to you, if you're able to unmute yourself. Namaste.
All right. Thank you so much. Prince Andrew, I will have to talk without the slide, but I think, yeah, that will keep it more personal. My name is Juliet, and I might as well for today mention my other name, which was my great-grandmother's name. It's Nankis, and the little children that I work with, they call me Nankis at times, and my surname is Miabo. I am based in South Africa. I was born in Soweto, and I was born and bred in Soweto. I've basically lived, Soweto is quite a huge place, and I've lived in every part of Soweto. But later I moved to Cape Town to go and study at the University of Cape Town. So my background in terms of academics, I have a degree in social sciences, political philosophy with emphasis on political sciences. And then I've been in South Africa basically all my life. And what's important for me in terms of being here is that South Africa has always been part of the world discussions, whether it was during the time of apartheid, when the world was supporting us to fight the racism of apartheid, or whether it was in the time of Mandela, or before that, during the June 16 uprising. South Africa seemed to be burning, but it was burning for a purpose, because those fires actually brought us to where we are. Because if it was not for the fires of 1976, we wouldn't be here. It was a purpose of June 16, 1976, to say, as Black South Africans, as Africans, we also want to be part of the world. And for that reason, there were protests. So everything that has happened in the history of South Africa was actually leading up to this opportunity, colleagues that are here. And I don't take it for granted, the fact that I sit here as a South African. I don't take it for granted that I sit here as a child from Soweto, who represents other children, other women, other elderly people, and other people who've lost their lives for this opportunity. So for me, this is a very important opportunity that means a lot for the people of my country. And today is, just to contextualize, in South Africa, it's the National Human Rights Day. On this day, in 1969, we had people, about 61 people died when they were protesting. It was called Sharpeville Massacre. So this day used to be called the Sharpeville Day, but it is now Human Rights Day. And 61 people died and protesting against the past law. What the past law was saying is that I couldn't walk in the street without producing a permit that allows me to walk in the street. So people that time, and that law was only imposed on Black South Africans. So on this day, we don't only mark what we are marking here on this platform, but also it's important that we also recognize Human Rights Day. I work, just to summarize my introduction, this is the reason why I actually do a lot of humanitarian work, because of the history and the sacrifices of our country. I work with, first and foremost, I work with young people under Jamaskater's youth development. I use the processes and the disciplines of sports to bring in young people, because that's the only time where you can actually tell people to do 100 sit-ups without them wanting to kill you. So I use the disciplines of sports and I work with young people. We do various programs, but the whole idea is to actually improve their lives and to keep them focused. We have a campaign called Putting Youth to Work, and those young people, we try and find opportunities for them. And we have they get involved also with community work. I also work, secondly, I'm going to mention children, because under Towards and Kids, because most of the children that we speak of, they are actually the children of the young people that we work with. I work with children, we have various programs. The whole idea behind Towards and Kids is to actually make children see that there's an alternative other than the small world of the township that is not necessarily very happy and that's very volatile, that there are other opportunities. So we do anything from welfare, food security, indigenous games. So the whole idea, we're saying every child deserves a home. And what we mean by that is that the fact that a child lives in a shack or lives in a house, that doesn't mean that place is a home. So Towards and Kids become almost like an escape where children can go and find some happiness. I also work with women. We do programs with the elderly. And my background is media, and I'm passionate about the arts, the performing arts, as a way of conveying messages, because I believe as a world, there's one thing that we all have in common, which is music, which is sound, which is dance. And I believe that is another way that brings us together. And for me, I think I will end it there, but more than anything else, Professor Lloyd, my colleague, Prince Andrew, because poetry is important, poetry in motion, because that's how people express themselves. Whether it was 1976 or whenever we protested in South Africa, even now, it will be through music. And music, that was another way of us communicating and helping us go through. So music is poetry in action. And the issue of fighting against racial discrimination, that is very common. But we are saying that as much as we've come this far, we still have a long way to go as South Africa. It's a process. It never ended with Mandela being released, but it's a process, and we are happy to be part of this. And in terms of trees and forestry, what's important is that we're looking at food forestry, because there could be food, but a lot of it is very unhealthy. And we have a lot of malnutrition people. We have a situation where we'd like to go back to where a child can walk down the street. Instead of them looking for a R1 to buy a lollipop, they should actually be able to pick a tree to pick a fruit from a tree and eat, because nutrition is one of the problems that we have. So today's theme covers everything that we're all passionate about. Dr. Chayapati and everyone else who's here for this opportunity on my behalf and behalf of everyone else from my country and from my community of Soweto and other townships. Thank you.
Well, thank you so very much. And just if I could be so blunt, I would like to also thank you on behalf of all of humankind, because it is in fact the Gauteng area of South Africa is recognized as the cradle of humankind. So thank you so much for speaking from the heart and from all of humanity. So thank you. Back to you, Lloyd.
Thank you, Andrew, and thank you very much, Juliet. We have definitely found a gem in you joining us in the Global Unity Network, South Africa, and assisting with the UnityNet Africa diaspora moving forward on the continent. So I'd also like to invite Malaika. She is available. Gabriela. She might be able to introduce herself as well. Of course, as well, if you'd like to say any words as well, Dr. Chowdhury, on any of what you've heard, you can jump in. These are intended to be informal discussions to get to know each other. And while we're waiting, actually, I wanted to mention as well, I am drinking my own tea here as well. This is actually, I think my wife calls it Teh Guan Yin. It is from Taiwan. My wife is from Taiwan, and this is a specialty tea that was given to her by her family. I can't read it because it's in Chinese, but it does say Taiwan Best Tea. That's the company, but it is really special tea.
I see Malaika is trying to get in, or she's trying to be heard, while I also go fetch my favorite tea.
See, so Malaika, can you unmute yourself? Just unmute so we can hear you.
It looks like she is unmuted, but it perhaps could be a problem with audio.
Yes, she may have to go out and come back in. We can't hear her. But we have such a wide variety of guests here. And I would like to make sure they understand this is, and this is in fact.
Andrew, we do. I don't know if we could maybe let our beautiful Italian guest share her poem while we're waiting.
Yeah.
It's
Go right ahead.
so awesome to have
Form.
Franca, can you hear us? Franca, all the way from Italy.
Yes, cara Nikki.
Wonderful. There we go.
May I talk now? I was waiting because kindly I was waiting because I am a guest and I didn't want to introduce myself suddenly. So thank you for inviting me. First of all, thank you to Lloyd. I am reading his name. Thank you to all here. I want to introduce very quickly myself. We are living in a war now. You know very well. Europe is in a big war. I am very, very worried because I am ambassador of peace. Thanks to Nikki De Pina and thanks to other NGOs. I am a humanitarian. I am against the war. I work unstoppable, only for peace, and there are, it's not just 4 years working day and night, 10 hours a day for free. This is my mission now. I work only for free, and that's why I introduce very quickly myself. I am an Italian architect, writer, novelist, poet, but also an ex-teacher, a retired teacher now, also abroad in Turkey, 7 years on behalf of the Italian Foreign Office. And but now I am also blogger on sustainability, climate change, and the long-term economy due to some 2 years long courses I attended. I want only tell you something about what is peace. Really, a few words. What is peace? Word often abused, violated, soaked with blood, loved, but improperly used. Force, peace stands as a harbinger of harmony and civil coexistence among all men. It is as precious as the water that quenches our thirst, and like the bread that nourishes us. Also a symbol of sharing resources. But to cultivate peace and ensure that it is lasting, it's necessary to struggle every day to preserve it. Now, just this want to tell you, this is, I prepared for Nikki De Pina. A speech on peace. When the winds of war blow stronger than ever in the heart of Europe itself, the apocalyptic message contained in the Apocalypse of John, the canon, seems to resonate more than ever in tune with the explosion of the bombs forced the exodus of the Ukrainian people, devastation and death. The end of the world seemed closer than ever due to the agitation of so many demons on the scene. Not only the one official pointed out by the media, but also the hidden ones who have blown the fire. Deception and masks in action after 2 years of the pandemic that have not prompted the men to repent seem to have taken the field. The two beasts of the apocalypse, power and propaganda, the two dragons advancing to anticipate the predicted end, have been presented since February 24th, 2022, the outbreak of the war in Ukraine, in all the arrogance of power. Here is my calm story that does not enter into the political events in progress, but takes note of the explosion of a global system led by a few men in power who imagine themselves demigods. Would we be people all united in the common effort to defeat the dragons of evil? Now it's up to us, this arduous task, if only we finally open our eyes and do not allow ourselves to be deceived by false and fraudulent propaganda. I finish.
Well, thank you so much. And thanks also from joining us from Italy. As you know, it is in fact Italy that gifted the world with the Latin language that provides the basis for so many of what we call the Romantic languages, including, of course, English, Spanish, French, Portuguese. So it is true that you are, in fact, the heart of what we are now in the midst of around the world. So your words coming from Italy speak very closely and very, very powerfully around the world. But please, before you leave, make sure you let our audience know your name, and if you have an organization, what that is, and a way to reach you if you want to follow up. And please, everyone, put that information in the chat so that we can all communicate with each other. Grazie, grazie, grazie.
Thank you,
Prego.
Andrew.
Prego.
And
Lloyd, let her finish, please.
Mhm.
Yes,
Go
could
ahead.
you please repeat your name clearly? And if you have it in an organization so that we can follow up with you. Doctor?
Yeah, I see she's put it in the chat. So that's
Okay,
cool.
all right, very,
Yeah,
okay,
thank
wonderful.
you.
All right, Lloyd, back to you.
So I want to try calling on Gabriela one more time, if she is able to introduce herself as well.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Am I clear?
Yes, thank you.
Okay, good evening from my side. I think it is 4:24 p.m. in Uganda. My name's Malaika Gabriela Ligan, a Ugandan from Uganda. I live in Uganda as well. I am a director, a founder, and an executive director at JAFOA. JAFOA is an aged care organization standing for Jehovah Alive for the older persons. Yeah, many will ask, why did you have to use Jehovah? Jehovah is another name for God. Just the way God can be there and is alive for the children, for the youth, for the women, for the men, I felt it, this same God should also be alive for these older persons. So that's where the name comes, Jehovah Alive for the older persons. I'm not a Jehovah Witness, but I love God. And to add on that, at JAFOA, it's a local indigenous national organization permitted to operate and advocate and fight for the rights of the elderly and the children under their care, the vulnerable homeless children. They are being brought up with grandparents. I think that's where my heart for the elderly began from when I resigned as an accountant at an embassy that was in Ghanaian embassy where I worked as an accountant. Yes, my background, I am an accountant, I am an economist, I'm a mathematician, and I'm specialized in business management. I have experience in accounts, I have experience in my finance, I am an administrator, and I had little knowledge on media, or I did a certificate in journalism. And we speak of now, the now me, I am a humanitarian, because now what I went to school to do, I think I'm now doing it best at the communities, serving the vulnerable and the needy. Yeah, I have experience in community work. I have passion for girl child. I have passion for the elderly. I have experience in education support of the vulnerable orphan children and those who are on the streets. And then I also have the experience in gender equality and economic empowerment for the vulnerable. Yeah, and I'm a young mother as well. I'm so happy to be part of this mission, tea diplomacy. Now, back here in Uganda, we have today being a human rights and fighting against this discrimination. I'm so happy we are celebrating this day and on such a platform whereby we can air out our hearts with different people that have logged in at this hour here in Uganda. And I speak on behalf of also Africa as a whole, where elderly or the older persons have been looked as witches. Yeah. In Uganda, as one grows older, anything that goes wrong in the community, they are blamed to be the ones they cause. But remember, these elderly persons, they're the ones carrying the culture. They're the ones carrying the brain. They're the ones carrying the history. Talk of the herbal medicine. Talk of the norms. Talk of the do's and the don'ts in different communities. So as therefore, we really fight against discrimination. That's why me and my team, I and my team that we work with, we go to schools to sensitize the children right from grassroots, sensitizing them the importance of loving the older persons. If we have one in their houses or in their communities, they are not supposed to be pushed away, but they're supposed to be brought closer and loved. Right now, Malaika, I'm just 35 years by the grace of God, but slowly, I'm getting into 40, I'm getting into 50, I'm getting into 60. And if God has mercy, those ones who have witnessed 50 years, I've witnessed 60 years, I've witnessed 70 years, we are all getting in there, the elderly or the aged group. In Africa or in Uganda, many of these older persons, they have taken their time, they have sold properties, they have sold land, they have lived a selfless life to take us to school, to support children, to support their communities, to build up, to take them to school, to educate them. But when they age, they have no one to take care of them. So that's where also, therefore, we step in to support such people, such a group of people, the marginalized. And then to add on that also, we also fight ageism. Because we have also elder persons abuse. People are abusing the elder, and it becomes more worse when these older persons are aging with a disability. Many of them, they were normal when they were okay, when they were in middle age, they are adult. But by the time people grow older, we tend to get these sicknesses, diabetes, arthritis, the back problem, the eyesight. Others end up to be blind, yet they were seeing very well. So those ones who are also aging with disability, they also have their own related issues that they go through. So with our motto at Global Unity, leaving no one behind, I think this is a very good platform whereby when we are pulling out everyone of the community, the children, the women, the men, let us also pull our elderly person, the older person, because they are carrying all these brains with them. And that's why we're also getting Madame Juliet or Dr. Nikki talked about poetry. Yeah, you'll find this older person seated under the mango tree, yeah, narrating stories, poems to these young children. So what we do, we tend to get stories from these elderly persons, which we can use in the future, in the next generation when they are not there. So we document these books, we document their stories with their photos, but after asking their go ahead on this. So we don't want them to die with this full knowledge, like the way Chinua Achebe passed on, but he passed on after living, after he had written so many books. So here in communities in Uganda, what we do, we get to those older persons like at Jafua, where I serve. Our oldest person is 102 years. To get to 102 years is just not that way. It just to take the grace to get to 102, because life expectancy down here is like 70 years. So we get to them as they're saying these poets, they are singing, they're telling us what happened during the Idi Amini regime, the 80s stories, the 70s stories, actually the 2000s and the new millennium. We also need those stories, yeah, to push on or to be better us, better generation of now. And then also, you'll find out like we have now the orphan vulnerable children. I'm just sitting and thinking, okay, these children, these early marriages in Africa, what can we do about them? Remember, they're under these elderly persons, they are all on the streets and they are homeless. So the next option could be, if I get married earlier, I'll get a man who will take care of me, and which is not the case. So they run from poverty and end up to another poverty, where they face more challenges. They get pregnant earlier. Someone starts producing at 14 years or 13 years. Just imagine if this girl gets to 35 years, you will have like 10 or 15 children. Then they'll face they'll face domestic violence, there is trafficking, there is defilement, and all sorts of violence against children. So as we are discussing, and I've seen many of us are sipping their coffee, me, I'm sipping my drinking water. I think we need also to see what can we do about these children, the early marriages in Africa. What can we do about the elderly persons who are being pushed aside? And then we have to bring everyone closer. We have to move in this vehicle, all of us. We move together, leaving none behind. We move as a team because they're also human beings. Today we are celebrating the Human Rights Day. So we need to move as a whole, discriminating none, yeah, fighting against elderly abuse, yeah, listening to them, yeah. You know, they will talk and they want you to listen, even if they talk plenty, but what they talk plenty in between their statement, there's something important that we can tap in as a young generation that will help us in the future. So how can we also exercise our patience when the elderly are talking? Now, here in Uganda, when we talk to the elderly, we kneel. So what can we do as we are talking to them? What do we kneel? Do we stand? Do we just say hello and we walk on? So that is it. So thank you so much, the organizers, Dr. Nikki, Professor, the name is so hard, Chindru, Professor Lloyd, our able elder ambassador, Ambassador Andrew, thank you so much for organizing, and all the members on board. I believe with these meetings going on, Malaika has to be a better woman. I have to be a better advocate for the vulnerable, for the poor, for the needy. And I am here to get more from each one of us. And thank you so much for such a time. I'll keep on contributing as well. For now, that's who I am. For now, that's what we are doing. For now, let us fight against discrimination. Thank you so much.
Well,
That's
thank you
all.
so much. And make
You
sure we
are
have-
a dream. Thank you so much. Sorry, she was beautiful. Thank you so very much.
Amen.
And make sure we have your contact information in the chat so that all of us can support you, and you can also reach out to us. We love you. Back to you, Lloyd.
Yeah, so now we have poet Sushi. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing it right. Sushishmita.
Thank you very much, sir. It's Suchishmita. Yes.
Welcome.
Yes, go ahead. I heard you have 2 poems for us
Hello,
today.
everyone. Yes, sir. Thank you very much for sharing the stage with me now. Hello, everyone. Hope you are doing all well, and my warm greetings to you, to all of you. My warm greetings of peace, friendship, fraternity to all of you. My name is Suchishmita Ghoshal, and I am belonging from West Bengal, India. And currently, I am living in Delhi, India, for the purpose of my MBA studies, which is on the verge of my completion. And apart from my studies, I am very much interested into writing, reading, researching, thinking, and also participating as a humanitarian in different projects like peace, global women education, and other things. And also here, I would like to show my heartfelt gratitude to Dr. Nikki ma'am for inviting me to be a part of this wonderful global conference, which is going to recall all the good things in this world. And today, on this auspicious day, when several things are denoting this day as International Human Rights Day, World Poetry Day, International Day for the Elimination of Racial Discrimination, International Day of Forest. So today is a very auspicious day, as we got to see there are lots of events in this day, and I'm feeling extremely grateful and honored, humbled, and extremely delighted to participate here with my poems, as I am serving as the arts and culture guardian for Global Peace Let's Talk team, which is founded by our dearest madam, Dr. Nikki ma'am. And I will participate with two of my poems. And thank you very much for sharing the stage with me. Let's just jump off to the poem. So I will recite two of my poems. Uh, on the occasion of World Poetry Day, I will recite one poem about the poems, how it heals every soul, how it works as a therapeutic medium to reach human hearts. And also, the another poem will be on the uh, global crisis which we are facing today, which is where the humanity is on the verge of the danger, and it will denote peace only. So I am going to recite the first poem. The title of my poem is Poems to Accomplish Its Dues. The world slowly proceeds to bid adieu. Humans slowly losing grips over emotions, wearing plastic skin of lustrous wax. They fail to offer obede to nature. As I sit here in my home, thoughts are not leaving me until I reach the tombs of everything never got the right to survive. The touch of healing and the old school love. How to save the world? Ask the last drop of my cup's tea. Insanity wraps me up each single second, dropping me in an endless canal of unknown sorrow. I feel just like an ant in a whirl. Shall my poems work? Shall they resurrect the peace from every nook and corner? Shall they pour them into the soul of each human until they find it enough satiating? Poems are the only rescue drawing kindness. Poems are the only rescue that never betray, and poems are the only rescue that escapes the bird of tyranny. Poems work like the knights on duty to save the world with the sword of their verses. Placed in the harnessed beauty, my poems are too young to hide their innocent mischiefs, as their stinking minds won't pay any homage to my poems or cush them every now and then. My poems are knitted through the trust oozing from my heart, and they tired traveling beyond the zone of my soul. Day after day, year after year, they are smothered in the vulnerability of treachery. They are made to smell the petrichor, the fresh smell scenting the air and tantalizes after a monsoon rain. They are made to kiss the butterflies. The color fleeting from their body is enchanting enough to paint a spring, a whole new spring. And they are made to adore the ardor of nature, the divine truth, causing the existence of peace. I don't know how to save them from a massive scatter. As I understand, the poetries are the only way to carve the world up in a beautiful art, to recover it from the horrendous diseases, to carve all the contagious phobias, to prevent the unwanted wars and destruction, and to save the last drop of love that's evaporating hugely. Let's not waste the time and shut down our vices. Work on the messes and save the poems. The world may be willing to bid adieu. Poems will accomplish all its dues. Thank you very much. Now I will promptly read my second poem, which is uh, which is calling for all the humanitarian to look into the matters of peace, and it is a global message for all the people who want peace and who are facing the terror of war. So the title of this is Witness Terror Through My Eyes. Vultures are now down on the earth to taste the flesh of fresh deads. Renaissance is on the spot, just prevailing on the ground through weapons. The sobs of mothers are now dry with the foregone splash of war. You read the Industrial Revolution on books. Here I witness the live fossils of destruction every day. Visit my country once when TV channels are off. Visit the billion pieces of dream homes scattered everywhere. You may wonder if sweet homes are still sweet. Visit each and every alley cramming with bodies and vultures, and taste the blood too. It may numb your throat with the bitter coldness of pure fear, that fear which stirred the euphoric past, terrors of present and unseen future. Thank you very much for patiently listening to my poems. I hope my message is sent. Thank you very much for giving me this invaluable opportunity to present my poems and present my views through my cultural activities in this global platform. I'm very much honored and humbled. Thank you very much. Namaste.
Thank you, Suchiswara. This is wonderful to be able to have somebody to recite some poems for us on this day. I'd like to actually, I'm just looking through the list of people as well. I'd like to invite again Dr. Kadhuri to perhaps make a few comments himself on some of what he's heard so far.
I love the poems, Sushi. It goes straight to the heart. You've written this with such a passion. So we love you. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, madam, for introducing me with a very great team of these very valuable and able individuals who are doing wonder to this world and taking us safe forward for the betterment of this society and making it more habitable for all of us. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much as well. So I'm being asked by Rabia Nasir they would like to also be able to talk. Rabia?
Okay,
Rabia?
yeah. So thank you so much I just request you and you just engage me. I am so privileged and honored to share a stage with all of the distinguished guests and our dear Nikki, who is the founder and the CEO of JPLT. And thank you, Mr. Lloyd, as well for hosting this gracious event, which is which is celebrating lots of days together. So firstly, I want to comment on Shushmita's poem, and then I will introduce myself. I just want to say that you wrote it very beautifully, and I was searching about the history of Estonian people, how they how they get their independence, and after after Soviet Union was there, and they just started the singing revolution there, and with this singing revolution they bring a big revolution in their country, and it paves a great milestone for that. For I think that today, into today's world, these kind of creative things like poems or sharing hearts through like what is going on in our emotional side, if we share it through poems, through singing, like singing efforts, or through paint, and represent that how we feel in early when something difficult happened, nowadays that is happening in the Ukraine, and we just pray that the people get released, they can release by war. So thank you, Sushmita, for bringing it in the form of poem. It's very remarkable. And
Thank you very much, ma'am. Thank you so much for your compliments. I wrote it from my heart, and it was really needed, as we are the change makers and we need to do something through the medium of art, culture, or any mediums which we are expertised in. So yes, we need to do something.
Yeah, I think this is a great opportunity. One should think about it. Like through art, you can solve many problems if you think creatively. So well done. So about today's event, like I want to introduce myself first. I am the founder and the CEO of the leading women of the world. Currently, it is in 70 plus nations, and I'm working from my platform from since 3 years, and I am happy that we are doing some collaborative events and some of individual events as well. You should go to our group, the leading woman, as well. I am also the CEO of Shalimar Digital Services, which is just a 1.5-year-old company. But in that time period, we targeted our audience in whole Pakistan, and we have done 13 road shows, virtual road shows, in which we have more than 1900 plus audience from IT sector, media, and universities. So our this year motto, or this year target is to expand it internationally. Although we have international clients there as well, but we will bring more virtual roadshows through that platform. So about today's topic, and yes, I also want to say that I am open for collaboration, and because my expertise, our expertise are digital services, and we are here available if anybody needs. And about the today's my message that I want to give, it is also related to the conflicts and the wars as well, like how to resolve them. So my message on that even is like there are two C's for me. A powerful woman always think about two C's. There are two C's. One C is for competition, and one C is for collaboration. All the things that is happening in this world, which is disconnecting one human to another human, it's because of competition. We based our philosophy on fear. When you are fearful, what you create? So we have to rethink that how we gonna proceed in today's words of blessing, which is abundant in today's that we have given us by the God and by the people that developed it so much. Like look at the universe. The world university is so supportive. If you start something, anybody, everybody come to join and support you. And the same way, why you are not building the societies or the communities or the nationalities or the world on the basis of collaboration and cooperation and supportiveness and trust, when we are like the other sees about collaboration. And I believe that when the world thinks about, when the organization, when the individuals thinks that there is a collaborative approach, we have to proceed in today's world, then we can benefit it with all of the resources that God just in place us for the humans, so we can grow, we can experience life by living the life. And in the if we just be in the form of competition, in the fear, we can't do that. My belief is in the form of collaborations, in the form of supportiveness, and in the form of trust, we can do that. So my message is like, if we want to create more, and it is also the solution of war as well, because one country or one person want that they should get the edge. How far they can get the edge? They just bring the destruction in the world, because they created these beautiful tools, these digital tools, and if they are not morally equipped, they are technology equipped, if they are not morally equipped, it will bring destruction. So mankind should think about their philosophy, that what are the moral principle and the philosophies of that. And then if they bring the collaborative approach, I think everybody, we should take the nature or the universe as an example. Everybody is supporting each other, and it is bringing evolution. It is created back then, and now we see that it is evolving and evolving and evolving. In that way, I think we can evolve better, rather choosing the competition based on fear, and that brings destruction and war at the end. We should believe in collaboration and collaborative work, and that can create a much better world. So this is my message to from this platform to all of the powerful women out there, and all of the beautiful ladies and all powerful men out there. Thank you so much, Mr. Lloyd, for giving me the chance to speak. It's an honor. Thank you, Nikki, as well.
Thank you. And you are reiterating the message of We Energize Global Cooperation Turtle Island, which is all about educating, especially our younger generation, about this idea of life value as being ultimately more important than money value, which is where we need to direct, I think, our economy toward increasing life itself as a purpose, rather than of our lives being just to make money. We need to redirect our energies toward increasing life itself in all forms, whether human or otherwise. And so this is one of our overarching messages that began the conversations with people, for instance, like Prince Andrew, who's our host today, as well as Nikki and Koduri, who are now hosting this event today. So I'd like to call on Janine, if that's possible. I'm noticing her, she was on the call. I'm hoping she's still there.
Also, I'd like to encourage any of our audience to just raise their hands as well to let us know that you're willing or would like to make a comment. So anyone is open to raise your hands. Otherwise, since you're here, you may be called upon, so be ready. I see Prophet Cox.
Prophet Cox told me she would stay on the line, but she may be in another call at the moment. Janine is
here.
written. Okay, there she is.
Is it okay? Do I have time to do the poem?
Yes,
You
absolutely.
have the
Go
floor.
ahead.
Okay, let me start by, I love the poetry, I love the music, so I wanted to share one from my neck of the woods. But I want to start by saying I'm Prophet Anyanu Cox. I'm in the United States, in Kansas, Wichita specific. I'm a part of the 400 Years of African American History Commission, and we are doing a campaign for the next 2.5 months called Stronger Than, and it honors and celebrates women who have had struggles in their life, and they've come through being stronger than. And so we highlight them and their struggles, and we share that with the world. On May 15th, we'll be having available something that women across the world can participate in. This weekend, we'll have an activity, and I will post in the Zoom link when I get it into the WhatsApp group, so that anyone, that's for men and women this weekend, if you want to be a part of a gathering that we're having in Wichita to celebrate women this weekend. And a part of our celebration this weekend is we're going to have a round table of Queen Mothers that lead the efforts across the country, and maybe even some from other parts of the world, if we can get them connected at this late date. I'm a minister and holistic practitioner. Mental health and holistic practitioner kind of go together. I do the work for mind, body, and spirit. I have a ministry called Reconciliation Ministry Without Walls. Our mission, our theme, our vision is reconciling self to God, or whatever your creator concept is of your heart and mind, reconciling self to self and self to all creation. And so believing that until we get right with ourselves and with the creator of our understanding, that it's difficult to get correct with all the creation. Safe Healthy Spaces is a company that I do the healing circles under. I do emotional emancipation, trained facilitator for emotional emancipation circles, a way of going free mentally and emotionally around historic trauma as well as everyday trauma. Ubuntu Circle, which means, and of course our family from South Africa knows these words, Ubuntu and Sawubona. I am because we are, I see you, we see you, we recognize you, and we value you. And again, they can do a much deeper definition and understanding of that. And then the Amore Healing Circles, which is a circle of love, light, peace, to be able to go forth and unite, heal, again, always first within, and then that way that love flows out. Also, the healing circles, they're population specific, culturally relevant, and culturally specific. So they are born out of a U.S. Model, but then we've already begun to adapt them for Haiti, and some parts. One has been introduced at one point into South Africa. So we're looking to get them across the globe, helping people, especially throughout Africa or any place where people have been traumatized, to being specifically for people of African descent. Yet we've already had requests in the United States for other populations to be able to take the model, the template, and be able to develop it for their populations. So I won't belabor the point. The holistic piece of it deals with complementary, traditional, alternative, and integrated medicines and therapies. And so the poem I want to do is by the late ancestor, Dr. Maya Angelou. And it goes like this. You may write me down in history with your bitter, twisted lies. You may trod me in the very dirt, but still, like dust, I rise. Does my sassiness upset you? Why are you beset with gloom? Because I walk like I've got gold mines or oil wells pumping in my living room. Just like moons and like suns with the certainty of tides, just like hopes springing high, still I rise. Did you want to see me broken, bowed head and lowered eyes, shoulders falling down like teardrops weakened by my soulful cries? Does my haughtiness offend you? Don't you take it awful hard, because I laugh like I've got gold mines digging in my own backyard. You may shoot me with your words. You may cut me with your eyes. You may kill me with your hatefulness, but still, like air, I rise. Does my sexiness upset you? Does it come as a surprise that I dance like I've got gold mines, or I'm sorry again, like diamonds at the meeting of my thighs? Out of the huts of history's shame, I rise. Up from a past that's rooted in pain, I rise. I'm a black ocean, leaping and wide, welling and swelling, I bear in the tide, leaving behind nights of terror and fear, I rise into a daybreak that's wondrously clear. I rise, bringing the gifts that my ancestors gave. I am the dream and the hope of the slave. I rise, I rise, I rise. Thank you so much.
No, thank you, Prophet Cox. Thank you very much. And make sure you do have your contact information in the chat. And it seems as though there might be some comments or suggestions from the audience. So I'll turn it over to the audience.
So this is actually for Nikki DePina, who is our official moderator for this conversation. She can also call on people or make her own comments or direct where she would like to for the next person to speak. I'm seeing, for instance, Ogeshi. I'm also seeing Stephanie Schuller. If I was right, Janine.
Well, then perhaps if it's okay.
Hello, everybody.
Oh,
Yeah,
there you are.
yeah. This has been so special. I'm Stephanie Schuller from Toronto. I'm in Toronto, Canada. This has been really, really amazing. I'm so glad to have morning tea with you all. It's a blessing. I'm glad we're all coming together more and more regularly with this consciousness. And as was said before, the technology is allowing us to connect like this and address global affairs that new and old and systemic and so many things. Who am I? I'm at the University of Toronto, Ontario Institute for Studies in Education. I'm a doctoral student in my final year. And I speak to parents about the experience when their child isn't thriving, particularly when labeled in school, and the social emotional implications on the child from being systemically labeled, like learning disabilities, any kind of disability. I am a social entrepreneur focused on holistic education and social emotional well-being, mental health. I'm a learning and community design consultant in Toronto, Canada, and around the world. Co-founder and director of the Maui Aloha Project, a living, learning, and healing eco-village initiative. Particularly focused on sustainable well-being through all sustainable systems, such as all food security, from seed to table, learning, immersion as stewards of the earth and part and with nature. I have a background in play and psychology, sociology, and anthropology. And I am a co-founder and co-chair of the Global Unity Network and co-founder and director of the Unity Learning Network, addressing the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals through communication and practical food systems learning. And I am also a podcast producer and host from the University of Toronto, talking to the leading experts in language and literacies, which is basically communication. And now we also have the technology where we can instantly translate whatever we're saying. So it's a game-changing time in school. It's a game-changing time in communication, global communication. And it's a game-changing time for peace. It's a game-changing time with the events that's going that have been going on in the past 2 years for us to globally come together because we're facing many crises, especially the planetary crises to exist and learn how to sustain ourselves, which are our old ways. And it was said today that the elders of all the world should be cherished. And I've worked with intergenerational communities my whole life, elders. I don't like to label the ageism, people who have been labeled as special needs, disabilities, children, youth, women. And this is a game-changing time. And I would like to read something to honor all of you, that my mother, I'd like to think that we're the mothers of the mothers of the mothers here. We're gathering with whatever our identities are, wherever we are. And my mother gave this book to me on my 18th birthday, for one of my favorite poems throughout my entire childhood. And it's this poem by someone named Robert Frost. It's called The Road Not Taken. And I toast to all of you and all of the people we know who are coming together in this heart space. Because Prophet, I agree with the Amari healing. And so I think all of the ancient cultures and conscious cultures of the world and beyond agree from the heart space. This is where we have to heal. So the road not taken. 2 roads diverged in a yellow wood, and sorry I could not travel both. And be one traveler long as I stood, and looked down one as far as I could, to where it bent in the undergrowth. Then I took the other as just as fair, and having perhaps the better claim, because it was grassy and wanted wear. Though as for that, the passing there had warned them really about the same. And both that morning equally lay in leaves no step had trodden black. Oh, I kept the first for another day. Yet knowing how way leads on to way, I doubted if I should ever come back. I should be telling this with a sigh. Somewhere ages and ages hence, 2 roads diverged in a wood, and I took the one less traveled by, and that has made all the difference. And I understood this poem from like young in my childhood, that, and I attribute this to all of you. We, I say to so many of our friends and colleagues and all kinds of people are, spend their evenings, watching TV shows and relaxing and not being sleep deprived because they have to get up at different time zones globally. And I think we have, made this a priority. So many hours. Lloyd never sleeps for sure. And Andrew, never sleeps for sure. And so many of you. So we have made all the difference. We're making all the difference, and we're giving it our best efforts now, because now is a time of transformation. This is a time of transformation. This will be a time like the Industrial Revolution and the French Renaissance and all the times that are famous. This is a time for a real hope for transformation. And I'm blessed to know all of you. And we are each a puzzle piece in all of this. So it's amazing. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Stephanie. We will get together soon again.
Absolutely.
I'm seeing that Prophet Cox has her hand up one more time.
Just very quickly, you kind of put a lump in my throat, Stephanie. That poem brings back you, and it's funny. So you told on yourself a little bit. It took me back to my childhood, and then you said it took you back to yours. So you told a little bit on yourself. Because I know when anyway, I won't ramble about it, but it hit my heart, and yeah, because that was my thing when I was only about 12 or 13. The road less traveled. So blessings. Thank you for that poem.
So thank you very much.
Thank you. I just also want to say thank you. I love the road less traveled. Thank you so much for all that you do as well. We love you and we appreciate.
So if there are any more people that would like to introduce yourself, I'm seeing, for instance, Okichi and Janine. I don't know if I've introduced themselves, for example. If not, you may want to consider wrapping up. Oh, I'm seeing so many hands coming up. Johnny Muteba.
Yes. Yes, it's Professor Lloyd. No, it's not an introduction. Yes, I wouldn't want us to miss the opportunity to play the poem that was written especially for today, which is about the 7 seas and 1 ocean. And I have sent it to Prince Andrew. I don't know if he has it.
Where?
That was written by. Yes, I sent it via WhatsApp.
Okay, I'll look now.
Yes, it talks about all being different races, but we all flow into one ocean. And in an ocean, you cannot say this sea comes from this river and this river is blue or green. That's, yeah, but there are other aspects to it. It was written especially for this event by a poet in one of the squatter camps of South Africa, a talented actor. His name is Jack Black God. I don't know why, but that's his name, and he's popularly known as that. Even Professor Lloyd, you have it as well?
You send it to me as well?
Yes, because I thought Prince Andrew wasn't seeing it.
I see an MP3. Is that what it is? It's
yes, that's the one.
Audio?
Yes, it's audio. It's just plain audio.
Oh yes, and I have it here. Just a moment. Let's see here.
Our colleague from Global, yes,
I have it. Just a moment.
He tended to MP3.
All right. Thanks for your patience. I better share that now. Although I hear a lot of noise, there's someone else to mute.
No, that's not the one. Okay, thank you.
We are people of our own color. 7 seas and 1 big ocean. It doesn't matter how big, small, dark, light, Christian or not you are. We all come from the same origins. Origins that when we trace footprints lead us to the central heart of Africa. Because Africa should unite and nothing will bite. Instead, we will forever have peaceful nights. Africa uniting wouldn't be bad, instead it will never hurt. Trees! Allow me to be your garden at least, so that I could plant these poetical seed into your cultivative mind with harvestic thoughts of negativities. We are still enslaved by our own memories. Right now, my broken, beaten bone skeleton wants to escape this flesh. My soul is rejecting this temple hospitality of one who be You see, we were never told about the secret ingredients they used to cook this system. This system was cooked with a foresight traditional pot, but we were never invited into the inns of financial taste. All you did, black child, was to feast on that racism that was served to you on a silver platter, so that mahinya, 7 colors, the shininess of it could blindfold you. Your I have fought has made deals for dessert. But what about the main meal, black child? We are still enslaved by our own memories. See, once upon a time there was I reciting poems with meaningless senses and unengineered sentence language construction. Therapy of my words wounded so many innocent souls I'm lost in translation. Tongue clicks, Ubuntu transplant, guilty to innocent endless transformations. I'm so confused in my lost thoughts. Perhaps I'm losing it, isn't it? Yes. Yes, I've been here and they've all been there, distant relatives. 300 Spartans, the rise of my ancestors to you, godly amen. The last breathless word you would inhale. We are still enslaved by our own memories, yet we are 7 seas and 1 big ocean.
Thank you.
And there we go. Thank you so very much.
Yes, thank you. I had just looked at that, your WhatsApp messages this morning, and I did notice that as well. I have a copy of that recording, so that's wonderful that we were able to share that. And thank you for reminding us. I'm also seeing Gabriela has her hand up one more time as well.
Am I clear? Hello? Am I clear?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, thank you so much, Professor Lloyd and everyone on board, and the organizers and our host, Prince Andrew. I don't know if it's a question, but I think through poetry, music and art, there is a lot that can be communicated out there to our communities, to the society, to the governments. So I don't know how it can be down here in Uganda or the rest of Africa, because I see it's a tool that we can use to speak out or to send a message out there, whether human rights, whether psychosocial support, whether community support in whatever we are doing. So my question is, do these poets, me myself, honestly speaking, I'm not a poet. I'm not a poet, I'm not into art, but how can we start this from an individual or from us? Actually, this question, I don't know whether Professor Lloyd is also a poet, but I think the poet that I've been listening to, my fellow sister from India, Gosha, Dr. Franca, they can just help me understand how can we sensitize them by the community, sensitize the government, sensitize the people around us in the communities through poet, through art. How can we support this? Because I see a lot of information is packed up with these older persons that we are always mingling with, listening to their story, listening to their things. They're like, if you want to keep your marriages, don't do what I did when I was in 30s, when I was in 20s, now I'm 80, but don't do that. But I think this information can be converted to a poem or a song or an art piece to speak out there, even to the kids or the generation that have not seen light yet. And if I get that answer, I think I can start working on that so that we can get more storytelling, storybooks written, poets done, music recorded, and it can be listened to across the globe. It cannot be only in a particular place in Uganda, maybe central or north or east, but also like right now I've listened to a poem from South Africa, and my spirit has been lifted. I've listened to a poem from Mama Prophet. I'm like, okay, you can send messages through poetry. I've listened a poem from Shula. I've listened a poem from Mama Stephanie, and it's really amazing. How can I tap into this poetry and poetry space? And I tap it and I get to the elderly and the children. Then we get it recorded, and then we can use it to our own. I think, Mr. Lloyd, it's a question. It's not a recommendation. How do we do that? Thank you so much. I remain Malaika. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Gabriela, again. So I wanted to answer that actually by saying that we do have a Unity Culture and Diversity group. We have a new member just joined us, Lisa Anis Sutphen. Came into the group yesterday. She has an affiliation as well with UNESCO. So we are hoping that in the future we will be able to collaborate eventually with UNESCO to ensure that our messages, including the poems, including the music and the songs and the dance, and all of the arts are reflected in our messages and can be directed out to the world through the arts. Very strong medium of exchange, I think, to get this message of peace and collaboration and partnerships and working together to achieve the goals that we'd like to achieve, these global goals. The other thing I would like to do as well, I saw a name, Johnny Muteba, hoping that he may be able to unmute and introduce himself as well.
Okay, good afternoon, everyone. I just want to thank Nikki. Nikki is a friend of mine. We last saw each other a while back in South Africa. I am a filmmaker. I'm a director, I'm a producer, but I'm also passionate about community development. Everything that I do, I look at it through the eyes of humanity. As an African, I believe in the philosophy of Ubuntu that says, I am because you are. So I derive my existence from yours. So therefore I cannot hate you. If I hate you, I hate me. So I had a question earlier on about poetry and stuff like that. So I work with schools. I also, as a creative, work with the private sector. One of the key things I'm actually working on now is really to strengthen the partnership between the private sector, the public sector, and the creative sector. We are also increasing the visibility of African talent in the global marketplace. So we have a number of events lined up this year, primarily in the US, film festivals, we have music festivals, we have exhibitions that are looking at tourism, at travel, and hospitality. But in September this year in the Netherlands, we are going to be organizing the Nelson Mandela International Peace Summit. So I am the founder of the Pan-African Chamber of Commerce. The chamber is 7 years old. And I've also just recently, about 2 years ago, established the American Arts Chamber of Commerce, registered in the US and also here in South Africa. So what the American Arts Chamber of Commerce is really doing is to connect the people of the United States to the people of the world, of course. But because I'm an African, I wanted to start with positioning African artists in the US as a very, very important market, the biggest market for the creative economy. The Mandela International Peace Summit was supposed to happen in 2020 because of the pandemic. We postponed it to 2021. It couldn't happen again. We are very hopeful that it is going to happen this year. What the event is going to do in partnership with the City of The Hague and the government of the Netherlands is to celebrate the global culture of peace. We have a number of thematic areas at the Mandela International Peace Summit. I am going to speak to them very briefly so that you have an idea of what this event is all about. So I've learned so much from Nelson Mandela. And the reason why I am very passionate about peace building is simply because I came to South Africa 21 years ago from the DRC. I'm originally from the DRC. I ran away from my nation because of the war that was going on, that is still going on up to this very time. So I'm really a peace ambassador. I'm a World Peace Ambassador. I was also involved in a program in Ethiopia at the Institute for Security Studies, where we were trained as artists on how to use art as a tool for peace building. This was in 2013, almost 10 years ago. So the thematic areas of the Mandela International Peace Summit are 9. The first one is youth for peace. The second one is business for peace. The third one is women for peace. The fourth one is art for peace. The fifth one is media for peace. The sixth one is sports for peace. Mandela was a sportsman. The seventh one is education for peace. The eighth one is civil society for peace. And the ninth one is the Nobel Peace Forum. Mandela was also a Nobel Peace Laureate. So the reason why we are talking about business for peace as a Chamber of Commerce is because where there's no peace, you cannot trade. Business cannot happen. Like right now, what's happening in Ukraine, nobody has time to sell. So we know that peace is actually very, very important. And I always say to people, especially a lot of friends here in South Africa, I say to them, you don't know the importance of peace until you lose it. You know, you will know how important peace is until you lose it. And it might be very difficult to get that peace back. The conversation around women for peace here, we've seen that women are always sidelined when dialogues, when conversations around peace building are actually happening. So we want to promote the role that women can play in building the global culture of peace. So we'll be launching all of these thematic areas ahead of the summit in September. The summit was supposed to happen on the 21st of September, which is International Peace Day, and the 22nd. But based on the engagement we've had with the government of the Netherlands and the city of The Hague, because the entire government will be in New York, at the UN General Assembly, we will also be in New York anyway. They've actually suggested that we host this event earlier in September, so we've not yet finalized the date for that. But I did share with Nikki yesterday, you know, in terms of what this event is going to do. But eventually, we do have an office as well at The Hague. Now we will be opening the Nelson Mandela Peace Center. As an outsider, as a Congolese in South Africa, I know for a fact that South Africa itself and South Africans, the mother of my kids, is a South African. I know that South Africans have not really, maybe they don't see the value. Many people don't see the value. As they say, a prophet is never appreciated at home. I don't think Mandela has been promoted enough, especially as a symbol of peace building from a South African perspective globally. I don't think so. And I'm talking about something that I know. I've been here for 21 years. So we are looking at how we can work together. We have brought the US government on board because they've got the Mandela Washington Fellowship. There's a lot of young people across Africa working in the space of conflict transformation, nation building, peace building. I have also done a lot of work. When Nikki and I met many years ago here in Johannesburg, I've been working with the city of Joburg here for 10 years, by the way. Conversations around migration, you know, conflict transformation, nation building, social cohesion as well. It's something that I've been doing. So I am doing the same thing now. I'm going to start doing the same thing with the city of New York now, using art. I've always used art to bring people together. There is so much power that art can play. There's so much that it can do in terms of bringing people together. So I will share with all of you, you know, more information on the Mandela Peace Summit. We are going to be working with sports bodies, sports associations, organizations, the Confederation of African Football. We're going to work with NBA Africa. We're going to work with NBA, by the way, in the US as well, because peace is everyone's business. That is basically the reason why I'm here. So thank you so much, Nikki, for the invitation. I am going to stop here for now. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much, Johnny. Go ahead, Nikki.
No, I just wanted to say to Johnny, thank you so much for being with us at this point. I would like people to know that Johnny Mateba, in his journey, many people have told him that it won't happen when he wanted to start the chamber, the global chamber, African chamber. And many people have told him he should take it easy and rest. But let me share with everyone here that this man is a strength beyond imagination. Never once has he listened to anybody's voice to stop. He just pushes forward, and for that he has my greatest respect and admiration for the man that he is, and for his contribution to the world and to Africa specifically. Thank you.
Well, thank you so very much. And Johnny, let me say I've inboxed you my contact information. I'm Andrew Williams Jr. I'm here in Los Angeles. In addition to providing a hosting for all of these various activities under the banner of the Ad Hoc International Advisory Board of Goodwill Ambassadors, we're launching AHIABGA-TV. And we hope that you'll become involved with our very small team that includes Juliet Biabo, who's here with us, in providing us a platform on a global scale so that we can actually have a place where we can not only document what we're doing, we can not only build an audience worldwide for what we're doing, but we can also open up the doors to our youth to have access through us to the rest of the world. So Johnny, I look forward to finding ways we can work and network together. Thank you.
Most definitely. Thank you so much. I'm available.
Actually, I'd like also, those were inspiring words, Johnny. And I'd like to actually share a video that was produced for us. Our team here in Markham, Drawdown Markham, planted our very first tree of peace and reconciliation back in September 2019. As we approach Johnny's event in September 2022, 3 years later, it almost comes full circle. You mentioned the importance of the message of Nelson Mandela, and that reminded me of the video that we created for or following our first Tree of Peace and Reconciliation tree planting event. And actually, I would like to share that with everybody today. The original video that actually brought myself and our team here in Toronto together eventually on this journey. So if everybody is okay with me sharing my screen, I will do that so we can watch this original video called Selete Kaya, or Bring It Home, which was a video done by Generation Hip Hop Global, and presents a new set of programs to start what were called victory forests and climate smart tree gardens around the world. So this is the video that is that representation of that journey. Just give me a second to share the screen here. Start the video here.
We have no sound, Lloyd. Lloyd, you'll have to stop sharing and start again. We hear no sound.
Yeah, okay. My apologies. I had to, when I did the share screen, I had to put the button to share sound. We will start again. Thank you. Andrew.
We're familiar with Hollywood do-overs, no problem.
Yep. Okay. Try one more time. a little buzzer. Okay, we'll try one more. So that was our little video that we produced after we planted our very first tree of peace and reconciliation. And that has been one of the most powerful videos for me to watch on this journey. And I think it is something that has kept me going as I watch it every few months to remind myself, why are we on this journey? And I think it, again, coming full circle back to South Africa and people like Juliet and having us come together through the arts to deliver these messages. I think it's such an important conversation that we need to have ongoing. Are there any other, anybody else that would like to say a few words following this?
I want to say something, Professor
Yes,
Lloyd.
yes, go ahead, Rabia.
Okay, firstly about the video, that was amazing. Like, see that one person stand for one thing that he thinks right and good for the whole humanity, like Nelson Mandela, and how he transformed the societies, the nation, and all the and for all the our Black sister and brothers. Thank you for sharing this great video with us, Mr. Lloyd. And the other thing that I want to announce that the leading woman of the world is like working on the Powerful Woman Awards and a Global Powerful Woman Awards. So I just want to announce here that well, because we are giving Powerful Woman Awards to 70 national women, 70 Pakistani women, and 20 international women. And the Global Powerful Woman Award is just for global women. So I also want to invite everybody who is interested to join the Leading Woman. So to, I will share the more details there. And I also want, if somebody want to have a collaboration with us, we are open for that. And yeah, I just listened all the, with Mr. Johnny said that, and I am looking forward if we have a conversation like as well, like and find out some collaborative thing. So I will be thankful for Mr. Johnny as well. So thank you, Mr. Wright.
Yes, and I would like to invite you as well to join the Global Unity Network. We have chapters around the world, including in South Asia, in India, in Pakistan, in Nepal, in Bangladesh, as well as, of course, across, across Africa.
Sure, I love to.
And we should connect afterward, but I think first I'm seeing Juliet's hand up one more
time. I think there is an internet problem, but I listen that, yes, surely I am looking forward to join and see what's happening in your group and what work you are doing, and ready to collaborate as well.
Wonderful, wonderful.
Okay. Yes. No, thank you for that. And I like to. I'm so glad that I sent Mr. Mutimba Johnny a message the other day, and I promised Dr. Nikki that I'll give her feedback if I did get hold of you or not. I guess you couldn't hide for too long. I'm so glad that I've met you on this platform, and I'm quite inspired by your presentation. And we look forward to working with you on a global level with the Andrew Williams Network, television and other spaces in South Africa. I'm quite inspired, and I actually wanted just to highlight, which I never highlighted in the introduction, is that in working with youth, one of the because South Africa, we are known for our dancing, we are known for those aspects of life. We are not as technical as some of the European countries. So I look forward to working with you for just both youth, women, the elderly, because we're also trying to get the elderly into the performing arts and children. So there's a lot that we're going to do. And we'll be using, and I'm saying this for the broader audience, is that we want to use the performing arts to deal with the fact that we have the highest number of gender-based violence cases, one of the highest in the world. We want to deal with the fact that we want to use the arts and sports to minimize the second highest rate of men's suicide. So we have the highest rates of children who are being molested. So the performing arts, the beautiful space, is a creative space, but it's also a healing space. So we'll be talking to Mr. Johnny also to touch on how we can use the performing arts as a healing space, also as a space to represent the creativity of Africa. So it will also help us with reconciliation. Professor Lloyd, remember that song? I was hoping you were pulling it out. You could actually close with that one, the one that took the world by storm. Jerusalem, I'm not a singer, I work with singers, but that's as much as that song took the world by storm, coming from South Africa, we can use the performing arts to. Prof. Lloyd, please find it. It's called Jerusalem. But thank you so much. I'm totally inspired, as you can see. Thank you. Thank you to everyone. And we look forward to working with other people that we're going to collaborate with.
What I wanted to mention as well is there is an ongoing conversation regarding Bubble Fund Sports League, International Bubble Fund Sports League, but we would like to actually start with a Bubble Fund Soccer League, especially for children. Get involved in sports in a very fun way. Young children can play in bubbles. And so we are wanting to have a conversation to actually start this sports league in South Africa, possibly also in other countries of Africa through the UnityNet Africa Diaspora group. We'd like to get sponsorship possibly to start the sports league in collaboration with some of the major women's soccer leagues, both here in Canada as well as in South Africa and possibly elsewhere, where we can really bring whole families together in these kind of events, eventually creating an international league that may even eventually be able to play alongside with our
sorry, Lloyd, can I
athletes.
just sorry, Lloyd, can I just intervene? I see Franca has to leave. There's a few people that have to leave now. So before you go, I would personally like to say thank you so much. I want to thank Prince Andrew, and I want to thank Lloyd and Dr. Jayanti for taking the lead in this project. This was the very first one, and I am just so overwhelmed by the love that's been shown today. And to everybody that now needs to go, thank you so much. Thank you for your contribution. I can see that this is going to be a success story and that we are uniting as one family. I don't think we're going to separate. We're now merging as a family, and that's so beautiful. Franca, be safe all the way from Italy. Johnny Mateba, I just so love you that you came and were part of this today. Dr. Jayanti, thank you so much for your loyalty and consistent support. To everybody, everybody present, you are all so awesome. Thank you, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. And
Nikki, what about me?
Thank you. Bye. See you
So-
next time.
Bye.
Maybe.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dr.
Thank you, everybody. But sorry,
Mr. Lloyd.
today I could not participate that much.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Blessings.
Bye.
Thank
Very
you,
nice.
everyone.
Bye.
So this actually ends our day today. I want to thank you all for attending our inaugural AHIABGA Global Unity Network and Diplomacy Initiative event. In particular, I did want to thank Dr. Jayanta Jodhuri from the Global Forum for Sustainable Rural Development, Dr. Nikki Dina from Global Peace Let's Talk.
But Lloyd, today I'm sorry. Today I could not join properly because of some problem. But I was listening entire thing, but I could not join. Sorry for that. But obviously GPLT team and your team, everybody done very nicely. I was following up, but I could not contribute today. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Dr. Jodhuri. I also want to thank Andrew Williams Jr., as well as Joseph Akinola from Andrew Networks and the Global or the World Humanitarian Organization for Peace and Equity, as well as Ms. Gabriela Malaika from Gafoa, Uganda, Juliet Miabo from the Soweto CSI Council in South Africa. I also wanted to thank as well Ganga Awal from the National Federation of Women Farmers and Appropriate Technology Asia in Nepal. She's been also a member of our Key Diplomacy Initiative team. And of course, all of our other guests and supporters who came on the call today, Franca, Senator Chusismita, Stephanie, Prophet, Rabia, Johnny. Thank you all. Please be sure if you'd like to save the chat. I did put many links into the chat so that people can join our Global Unity Network and collaborate with the rest of our members, contribute to the achievement of what we call a future regenerative economy that leaves no one behind, which is our main purpose here. So thank you all for attending the first Diplomacy Initiative event. And I suppose we shall be signing off.
Well, yes, and thank everyone for joining us. And we look forward to connecting with you. There will be an upcoming meeting after this one in about an hour from now. So I'll be inboxing you with that information. Thank you so much. We're going to wrap it up today. Have a fantastic day from the AHIABGA-TV networks. Bye-bye.